WDBFradio.com. WDBFradio.com. I grabbed my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It caught me a grouper. Fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, a very good morning to you out there, and thank you for taking the time to join us. It is another beautiful day here in South Florida. I don't know what part of the states that you might be in, or for that matter, since we're on the internet, I don't know what part of the world you might be in, because we are all over the place. But another beautiful morning here on the southeastern portion of Florida. And this morning, normally I have Pam Worth, who is one of the top female kayak anglers with me. She is out on the water, and I expect her to call in later today. And as always, my one and only backup, thank you so much for being there for me. Captain Hook, good morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning. And it's beautiful over here on the West Coast this morning. Just a few little puffy clouds around, but so far so good.
Looks like it's going to be another beautiful day here in South Florida. Get out there, enjoy what we love so much. Why we live here? Why do we live here? We live here because of what we are able to do almost year round. With the two, as I refer, the two seasons that we have. We have hot and hotter. Right now we're getting out of the hotter and working into the hot. So you can still enjoy it. There's a lot of stuff to do out there. Anyway, while I'm thinking about it, Captain Hook, you've been fishing last week?
No, I have not. We held off for a couple of weeks because of the little red tides, a little bit spotty, and it's starting to clear up quite a bit, but there's still some spotty areas around here and around South Tampa Bay.
I don't know if I can get him on next week or maybe the week after that. There is a gentleman who is a diver who has been documenting the red tide, who gave me some pretty good hopeful information, I guess is the best way to put it. They've been documenting on the bottom of the ocean from 11 miles out all the way into pretty close to shore. And the good news is not everything is dead. There are plenty of places where there is plenty of life going on. The impression that I had is we were decimated. There was nothing left. That's not accurate. There are pockets, as he called them, of teeming life. There's still a lot of pockets out there that have teeming life. So that's a bit of bright news, and I was very happy to hear that. I can't remember his name. I apologize, but I expect to have him on either next Sunday or the following Sunday. I think he's out of town right now. And we're going to get together and we'll have him on. And again, he's video documented this. So he'll tell us where the video is at. You can go watch the video. You can see for yourselves what is going on. It is looking up a little bit for us. Thank you, God, because we need all the help we can get.
Right. And well, look, a couple of good items is people have been catching sea trout over here, so that's popping up, and people catching Jack Crevalles and all kinds of fish. I haven't heard any real great reports on red fishing over here. We'll find out from Pam, hopefully, in a little while. But, a lot of people believe that the red tide kills everything, and it doesn't. There's a lot of animals that thrive on the red tide, like the clams, the scallops, shrimp, anything crustacean type animal. They use it. They are the ones that filter the red tide out, but they also thrive on it.
Oh, one of the main reasons I love doing this show is I always learn. I didn't realize that the red tide had a natural enemy.
Yeah, the bottom dwellers, the crustaceans, the clams, the oysters,
It doesn't kill the shrimp?
Nope, they love it. They love it.
Wow. Well, then we better find us a bunch of oysters, clams, shrimp, dump them.
Well, usually a lot of places will have an unbelievable shrimp season right after they have a red tide. So the following winter, look for a really good shrimp season.
Wow. I go back, I've lived in Florida just about all my life, all but 9 years of my life I've lived here in Florida. I'm in my sixth decade. As I refer to it, I'm on the sixth level. I stopped calling myself 60-year-old. And I can remember from years past, my dad used to take us fishing all over South Florida. One of the places we loved to fish, it was so much fun, was Naples, because they had a really nice pier out there. And I can remember back as a kid going out, I guess he didn't check the weather going out there, but we went out to Naples one time, spent a weekend out there, and the entire weekend was a red tide. Nothing like I'm seeing on the videos, but yes, dead fish washing up from time to time. So I can remember all the way back when I was just a little guy, when dinosaurs walked the face of the earth, if you listen to my kids. We've had red tide time and time again. I think what's happened, though, on this last go-around is we've had some introduction of some other things that really hasn't helped at all. And I hope to God that we can get to the bottom of it, because it really is sad to see what's going on. It's not just fish. It's all the associated things as well. It's birds that eat the fish. It's manatees. It's dolphins. And it's sad to see, especially when we have the technology to do better. We can do better. Always like to have the idea in my back of my mind, I'd like to leave this place better than it was when I first came here. And sadly, that's hasn't been happening. But between what we've done, and I really believe that it has helped, we dedicated an entire show to this subject. People became knowledgeable, and a lot of people are speaking out now. So maybe now that we've got people speaking out, we can start making some forward progress. Because it is, it's our place. This is where we live. This is what we enjoy. For me, the water is everything. Whether I'm on top of it fishing or from the shore fishing or, whatever that might be. Water is everything. I mean, we got water. 3 sides of this state are covered by water. We've got to take care of our water. Anyway, let's get on to a more happy subject. So I wanted to ask you about, you take veterans fishing, right? Is that part of what you do?
Well, I have some friends and some guys that are Vietnam vets that have gone through some serious PTSD and stuff. And one of the few times that they get to calm down is when we'll go fishing, because it's quite relaxing.
Yeah, it is. It is really relaxing.
Yeah.
For me, it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about, especially if you're a couple of miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles offshore, and it's like a puddle. It's just as calm as a puddle.
Yeah.
There's something about that that's just a very light rock. It's almost like you're a baby in a what do they call those things? A hammock. It's almost like being a baby in a hammock.
Yep.
Rocking back and forth. It's just the most common thing in the world.
Yeah, we try to, but I generally take the same few guys with me. It's not like, we're bringing in a different group all the time, but it's generally the same guys. And unfortunately, one of the guys that comes down from Boston to visit us and goes fishing with us, we just found out the other day that he has lung cancer, and so it's not looking good for him. I mean, he's one of those guys who was in Vietnam during the when they were spraying the Agent Orange, and God knows what else that they've contracted. But unfortunately, we're going to try to get him down here for maybe one more trip. So we'll see what happens.
Is he going to do the standard treatment?
I haven't heard yet, and I don't think he's made the decision yet what he's going to do. It's in one lung, so possibly, it was one of the guys that's in that famous picture of me sitting with the guys at the bar after we went fishing. So, and we got Robert Warner's calling in on us, and I just missed him.
Let's get Robert involved. And while I'm thinking about it, Captain Hook, ask that guy to call me, because I'd like to talk to him.
Okay. I will. I missed Robert's call. I was sitting over gabbing. And hopefully, Robert, if you're out there listening, here he goes. Call me back.
Well, that's one of the joys of doing live radio, my friend. Never know what's going to happen.
Now we got him. Sorry about that, Robert. I was over here gabbing with Riscala and missed your call.
I figured you did it on purpose, really, but that's all right.
Good morning, Robert. Welcome to the Fish Florida Show, my friend.
Good morning, guys. What's going on out there?
We're just talking about a couple of things that are happening around the state on the West Coast. I mentioned to Captain Hook this morning, maybe you can enlighten us a little bit. I have heard some enlightening news that I was under the impression it was a complete decimation on the other side of the state, 140 miles. There are pockets, as they were referred to, of life out there, teeming life. So that was very helpful. It was very enlightening for me to hear.
Yeah, I heard the tarpon had returned to Boca Grande, which is a good thing.
Wow.
Since they lost their entire season.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, at least they're there, and there's lots of snook and tarpon or snook and redfish being caught over there, and thank God people are releasing them.
Oh.
Which is a good thing. I've seen several pictures coming in. They're being caught over there in pockets, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I also talked to a couple of captains over there, and they said that the storm that came through took a lot of the red tide with it, but didn't take it all. So,
right. Mm-hmm. It broke it up, and it made it kind of spotty. So it's here and there. So it's not all uniform in one location. It's a little bit up this coast, a little bit over here, a little bit over there. But it did help for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to the guy from Bad Habit Charters, and he said that you know, if it had been a little bigger storm, it might have been better. He said, but then worse in some other ways, I'm sure. So, you know,
yeah,
you don't want to wish for a bigger storm. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was not big enough. That reminds me of the.
Yeah, if we had one that was like a Cat 3, I think that would help. You know, but no, you don't want that. But he said it did break it up a lot and drag some of it out. So that's good.
Yeah,
well, that's excellent. What do you know about the East Coast?
The East Coast, there is, if you start from down in the Keys, there's still tarpon there's lots of tarpon being caught right now. As a matter of fact, we've got a friend, Tao Lee, she's down there tarpon fishing right now. There's also still some dolphin being caught, and the mutton snapper bite is going insane right now. So if you're out for mutton snappers, this is your time. Get out there, and they are out there. So.
I saw a video the other day of guys tarpon fishing down underneath the Bahia Honda Bridge, and the tarpon was so thick it looked like mullet. They were
no way.
Oh yeah, I've never seen that many tarpon in one spot.
Wow.
Over here at John's Pass, we get them like that every once in a while, right underneath the bridge. But they're not big ones; they're little ones, you know.
Yeah, but even the little ones are fun to catch. Just remember to let them go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen teeming schools of fish like that since I was a kid. We had saltwater canals where I grew up.
Yeah.
Grew up down in Coral Gables. And we would have, I'm not kidding you, I'm not exaggerating, at least several hundred of mullet swimming against the current as the current was moving one way or another. I guess filtering the water, I don't know. But so many mullet that I could literally drop a line with just a small hook on the end of it and catch a mullet.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
Well, the mullet run is coming. It's moving its way down the East Coast right now, and it was in Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago. It's down past Daytona. It's actually, I was talking to Captain Patrick Price from Daymaker Charters here in Stewart the other day. He said, I'm starting to see pockets of them show, which means the big schools are coming. So the mullet run is on, which will bring the tarpon, which will bring everything. So everything, if you're a mullet, your life is bad. You have a bad life.
Yeah.
You
are just chased from the time you're born till the time you die. So,
oh my goodness, how sad. Well, they do fulfill a purpose though, so it is what it is.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But when they're running, the tarpon are definitely out there. So, so will the sharks be.
When you say running, are they running like on the beaches? Do you see them running on the beaches?
Oh yeah, you'll see huge schools of them coming up and down the beaches, just being torn apart by tarpon and snook and sharks and. Yep. And there's a beach close to here called Bathtub Beach, and we used to go down there just to sit and watch because they come right around the inlet there, and they just get annihilated. But it's sad if you're a mullet, but it's kind of amusing to watch. But and if you're fishing, it's phenomenal. So
that's kind of like you being a hammer and everything else is a nail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh my! Any action going on up in North Florida that you've heard about?
Again, lots of redfish being caught up in there. There's also some big black drum being caught up in there. But as far as the freshwater report, it just came in, and there's some which we didn't normally get. Gentleman that fishes the chain of lakes up there in Harris Chain of Lakes sends us freshwater report, and some big bass being caught. After that last storm came through, he said the the bass bite went crazy. So
Wow.
if you're a freshwater fisherman and you're looking for some big bass, the Harris Chain of Lakes apparently has them. So does Kissimmee. Not so sure about Okeechobee. I get no reports from Okeechobee, but the Harris Chain and Lake Kissimmee I get reports from, and it's doing very well. So
When you said the last storm, you're talking about Florence?
No,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after Florence went, after that. We got some wind and some rain and stuff, especially
that was
the northern part of Florida.
Yeah, Gordon. Yeah, the Gordon that went through. You're talking
Gordon went through,
yeah.
but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is it,
Gordon
are we
went through,
talking?
but even Florence up in the northern parts of Florida, they got some wind from that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The reason why I'm asking is you're talking inland, you're talking freshwater, and we're talking a hurricane that's on saltwater, and I'm curious, it could really have that kind of an effect on inland.
anything that blows the wind across a lake blows the bait fish across a lake.
Oh, I didn't think about that. How silly. Yeah. Okay.
And as soon as the bait fish start to move, the fish start to move. So
Interesting.
they follow the food.
Right, it kind of corrals
Wherever
them
the
up a
food
bit.
is where they are. So
Huh. I want to ask you about the mutton snapper fishing. Did they give you any indication on the depths? Or how deep are they going to do this?
Well, it depends on where you are. They're catching them right now off of Jupiter in about 100 feet, about 90 to 100 feet of water. In the Keys, it's anywhere from 45 to 150 feet they're in there. It just depends. What you're looking for, if you're fishing for them, is a break in a reef or structure line where there's sand bottom and rock on either side, or reef on either side, or structure on either side. They'll be in those sandy areas. They tend to hang out there and wait for things to come off of the rocks, to come off of the reef. They school together there. And now this is an odd thing. When Hurricane Florence pushed up the coast, when it was coming through the Atlantic, it pushed yellowtail all the way up into Jupiter. One of the captains there sent me a report. He limited out on yellowtail in Jupiter.
Wow.
Which was just unheard of. I mean, we get them every now and then in Jupiter, but not where you limit out. So the winds, between Hurricane Gordon and Hurricane Florence, they've pushed a lot of stuff a little further north than it would normally be. So I'm sure that's settling back down now. But for a while there, we had some yellowtail in Jupiter, which was nice for yellowtail fishermen and for snapper fishermen. But the muttons are anywhere from 40 to 150 feet. And like I said, what you're looking for is structure on the bottom. So, and try to fish in between the structure.
And what, a live bait, or plastic or jig?
They'll eat cut bait. They'll eat cut bait. They'll eat live bait. They'll eat anything. So, if you have it, amberjack roe is like candy to them. So,
I've heard all kinds.
Have caught an amberjack.
Roe in general is just like.
Well, amberjack roe tends to stay together really well.
I see.
It chunks really well and makes for a good piece of bait, and it doesn't, come apart when you have to drop it down 90 or 100 feet. So, but if you happen to have that around, that's like feeding them chocolate. So,
have you happened to take a look at what the seas are today on our side of the state? I haven't done that yet.
I have not. Our inlet was closed for a few days because of the swells from Florence. We have a very shallow inlet here, and they closed the inlet so that people wouldn't go destroy their boats trying to get in and out. Because even though the seas were fairly calm, those swells were running 8 to 10 feet in some cases.
Wow.
And if that goes through an inlet where you only got 3 or 4 foot of depth, you're
big trouble.
You got a problem. So.
You're going to be on the bottom.
But yeah, there'll be a sea tow be out getting your boat for you.
Good
but no, the seas have calmed down, and I would imagine by now. I have not checked the report this morning, but I imagine they have calmed down, and we'll be going out here sometime in the next week or two with Patrick Price, and we'll get you some eyes on the water out there. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at the radars. There's just a couple of little things here and there. We're pretty clean as far as storm going on out there and rain. And I can't find. I'll find it here in a minute. I can't find
Well,
the rest of the report.
ocean on the east side should be laying down a little bit because we have that counterclockwise rotation coming out of the northern part. And I'm looking at the winds, and it should close to shore. It should be laid down pretty good.
Yeah,
It's an opportunity for people to get out there.
Yep, and I was talking to Tal Lee yesterday afternoon, who was tarpon fishing, and it was beautiful down there in the Keys. So,
wow. All right, Robert. Well, listen, if people want to find out more about what it is that you do, and I apologize, what is it that you do, Robert?
I'm not real sure, but we have a fishing magazine. We have a fishing magazine. We're actually working on the next issue right now. It is www.flfishmag.com, and we welcome stories and articles and videos from everybody. So if you've got some stuff, that's the website. You can find the Contact Us page and send in your pictures, your stories, your whatever. We welcome them we've got stories come in from Texas, from the Bahamas, from Florida, from the Carolinas, so wherever you're at, if you've got something you want to share with everybody, send it to us. We're happy to share it.
Robert, thank you. I greatly appreciate you taking the time. It's Robert Warner, and he's with the Florida Fisherman Magazine. You can find him online. You can also find Robert on Facebook as well. You can find a page for them on Facebook. Robert, thank you. Wish you a wonderful week on what's left of it here, my friend.
You too. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks a lot. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard, North Street, in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, a good morning to you. We are back. It is the Fish Florida Show, and this morning I have with me my co-host is the one and only Captain Hook. Good morning, Captain Hook.
Good morning to all. And just real quick, I just want to throw out from all of us at WDBF Radio, our hearts and prayers and go out to everybody up in North Carolina and South Carolina just being inundated by Florence. So we're thinking about you.
Unbelievable. What was the latest on the amount of rain? Was it 20 some odd inches of rain?
Well, I know in one area in Wilmington they'd had over 42 inches, and that was at 48 hours in. Now they're at 72 hours in, and the rain is still coming down.
And the thing has slowed down to a creeping halt, right?
Yeah, but I understand now it's picked up speed back to about 8 miles an hour, and it's moving northwest, so hopefully it'll get on out of there soon.
Oh, thank you, God. Gee, many. Yes, being from Florida, we've had our experiences with them as well, and it is not a it's not a good feeling, I'll tell you. It's a lot of anxiety that is involved with that as well, because you never know what's going to happen. We've had, I was one of the many that lost their homes in a hurricane many years ago in 1992, August 24th, 1992. I was living in South Miami, and we had Hurricane Andrew come through, destroyed the entire neighborhood, unlike anything I'd ever seen. Again, most of my years have been here in Florida. I go all the way back to the days of Hurricane Donna. Never seen anything like that. Oh my goodness. Never seen anything like that. Amazing. So we've got to just be aware. Be aware of what's going on, especially here in South Florida. We keep our eyes open on the tropics. So anyway, I think we have Mr. Dennis with us this morning. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Riscala. Good morning, Captain Hook.
Okay, Dennis. Good to hear from you.
How are you guys?
Pretty good.
We're hanging in there, my friend. Have you done any fishing?
No, I have not. I plan to do a little fishing tonight. But the mullet run is really starting to pick up over here. There are snook in the inlets. The other night I was out on a dock, and they were just crushing it.
Wow!
So it's definitely that time.
So, and you were in the Boynton Beach area, right? Sort of
Boynton Beach, directly
near
across
the inlet.
Yeah. Right. Directly across. So everything comes through the inlet.
So it sounds like things are picking up.
Yep. The snook season is going to be great. The mullet started to run already. I was out last night, and you can always tell, when the snook are feeding versus jacks that come in, because they'll come in and just come in lines and run the beaches and corral the bait fish. Mm-hmm. You can if you just listen, the snook have such large mouths that when they take their bait, they take a lot of air and water in, and it almost sounds like a pop.
That's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you always tell when the snook are in if you just listen.
Wow.
And they were crushing it the other night.
So were you out off of your dock?
Yes.
So this is happening off the dock, huh?
Yep. Off the dock, the bridges, the inlets, any structure in the intercoastal. They're going to be lining up on the beaches, any rock right by the inlet. So it's definitely that time, and it's a slot between 28 and 32 inches on our side for keepers, and you're allowed one per day as a harvest. So it's because the mullet just stack up on our beach. They are just so thick when you're in.
I had Robert Warner on with Florida Fisherman Magazine just before you, and he was saying the mullet are making their run. They're making their way down, and you're kind of confirming what he was saying. He said, "It's getting from what I understand from what he said, we haven't seen the real run yet, but they are making their way down."
Correct. There's a mullet down here already. I mean, they're not as thick, but basically once they get that thick and our little beach area right across from the inlet, it's hard to catch a snook.
Yeah.
Because you have 10,000, 30,000 mullet out there. So you could literally, and this has happened, I'll have my bait, and 4 feet away, boom, a snook will take a mullet.
Wow.
There's just too much bait when it gets in there. When you come in the beginning and the end, you have a much better chance of catching slots because the bait isn't as thick, so there's no more choice. But it's a beautiful day. Winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10. Seas are 2 feet with a 12-second dominant period, which is huge. So there is no, there's 12 seconds between waves is nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great boating.
Yeah. Wow. That's
And the radar's clear. So it's a beautiful day to get out there.
I need to get out there. If you've got a boat, you need to get your behind out there and enjoy what we've got, because there's not a whole lot of places around the United States that can offer what we offer here in South Florida. On 3 sides.
And when you were talking about mutton fishing?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yep. A couple of local guys here. Well, everyone has their spots. They have their spots marked on their GPS, where they have their Rockies and sandy bottoms. And sometimes, if you're lucky enough to know a spot where there's on both sides, and one of their favorite tricks is when you anchor up, what they'll do is they'll take a sash weight or a weight from the old fashioned windows that are probably about 8 pounds, or you can go 5 pounds, and they'll take a carabiner clip, attach it to their chum bag, put the weight on there, and run it down their anchor line.
Huh.
So now your chum bag is sitting on the bottom, and you're chumming the area on the bottom right where those snappers are. And it's very effective.
Great
Instead
idea.
of chumming the surface, you're actually chumming the bottom where they're hanging out. So you're pulling them off the rocky edge into the sandy areas, and your catch increases 100%.
You ever done that, Captain Hook?
Yeah, I like that idea of putting them on a carabiner and running them down the anchor line.
I like that.
Yeah, I've done it before with a weighted line, which is basically doing the same thing. It's just getting the chum down further in the water, and then it disperses a lot. You cover a larger area than just being on the surface.
Right, and because you're always in a current, and so your anchor is a few hundred feet above you or in front of you. So when you get that drift, underneath your boat is just fully chum.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you, this is why I like doing the show. I'm always learning. That is so simple that it's like I want to slap myself for never having thought of it myself. It's just pretty straightforward. Get the chum, because if the chum is on the top of the water, and a lot of time, I know for me personally, a lot of times the chum was on the top of the water in the back of the boat because we're fishing off the back of the boat. Where we're fishing, where the chum is going, is not that, we're talking about 2 different distances here. Where you're down on the bottom and where your anchor is, it's blowing it back to where you are. 'Cause again, I believe that a lot of people prefer to fish from the rear of the boat. It's blowing it right back to where you're fishing. That's great.
Well, especially that way, you can fish off the sides of the boat and whatever, and just underneath your boat is whole chum slick.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Learned something new.
Yeah. Dennis's fishing tip of the day. That's right.
There you go. So
it's a beautiful day.
Yep.
Dennis, I wanted to ask you as well about, there's a place that we call the Spillway. Is that only accessible by boat?
Yes, it is.
Oh, phooey.
Yes,
I wanted you to show me where it was.
Yeah. And that holds monster snook.
That's what I've been told. Fish in general, just monster fish in general there.
Yeah, in fact, Captain Rick Murphy did a show from there. And I want to say he caught a cow that was like 42 inches.
Lord.
And it's just, the spillway from the canal, going out in the intercoastal. And there's always fish in there. There's always snook in there.
Wow.
Mutton snapper too. It holds a lot. And then you catch, there's the gars. There's some gars in there too. That are
some
kind
gars?
of a nuisance. Yeah.
Garfish?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Saltwater has garfish?
Yeah, it's more.
Well, it's so brackish.
Brackish, right?
Oh, I see.
Because of
Okay. Yeah. Because it's spilling over.
Because of the discharge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think they just come through the spillway and hang there.
And you talk about the worst, nastiest fish in the world. Oh
my goodness.
Those alligator gars. Oh.
Yes.
Yep.
They're
yes,
nasty.
they are.
I think of them as the freshwater barracuda.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they get huge. They really get big.
When we lived in Cocoa, I used to pay the little kids to get them out of our retention pond. We had about a 3-acre retention pond behind our house, and we were stocking the lake with all kinds of different fish, and they were eating them as fast as we could stock the lake. So I was paying the little kids. I'd give them like $5 a piece to go out there and catch them and then kill them. Because they were just a nuisance. They will actually run off all the bait fish and eat everything.
And they're very, very hardy.
Yeah. They're almost.
They can withstand temperature change, oxygen level drops.
Yeah.
They're just a prehistoric, very hardy fish.
Yeah. If you ever look at a close-up picture of them, they are definitely prehistoric.
They are a dentist's delight.
And they'll bite
People do eat them and smoke them.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Especially in Minnesota.
I didn't think they were any good to eat. I was, making fun of a dentist's delight because there's so many teeth on them. One of the few fishes I've seen. Oh my goodness, I think there's more teeth than there is inches long on the fish.
Yeah, and they'll bite the crap out of you too.
Yeah, you be careful with alligators. I've had a few experiences with them, and they haven't been pleasant. I took my son fishing many years ago. Took him fishing. He was probably 6 or 7 years old. Little Zebco reel, little bobber on the end with a worm, and he caught himself a little brim. Maybe 2, 3, 4 inches long. And as he's reeling it in, he's very excited. He's reeling it in. All of a sudden, the rod almost comes out of his hand. It's doubled over. I thought he had hooked a bottom initially, but he's yelling and screaming and jumping up and down. I go running over there and help him reel it in, and it was an alligator gar. And how it had gotten caught, believe it or not, because it would have ripped the line right off. This gar had hit this little fish so hard and wrapped himself around the line. It had wrapped around his beak, whatever you call that thing, where all the teeth are at. Had wrapped around that, and he couldn't get untangled.
There you go. That's one less gar.
But I mean, that thing hit that fish so hard that it wrapped all of that line around its bill, I guess is what you call it. And it could not get untangled. There were so many teeth and so much line, it just couldn't get away. Nasty looking thing. Fortunately, I don't deal with a lot of them. I see them every once in a while here in the lakes where I'm at, but there are places where they get pretty big.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of those things are seriously big. I wouldn't want to be in the water with them big.
Yeah, they're fun to catch because they put up a good fight, but because they're very muscular and they're strong fish. But Dennis said, they're a hardy sucker, hard to kill. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anybody would eat them either. That's another thing. Are they smoking them, Dennis? Is that how they cook them?
Yep. Yeah, they get the big ones and they fillet them, and they have a lot of meat on them if they're big.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they smoke them up and do it that way because they're kind of oily and greasy.
I had heard they weren't very good to eat, so in my mind, I could see probably the best way to do something with fish like that is to smoke it because that seems to neutralize all that really strong, heavy taste that comes out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, everything's edible if you know how to prepare it. Bonita is very popular, but we just use it as bait down here.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever eaten bonita. I don't think I've ever had that. Again, I was told that it's very oily and bloody, and not very tasty.
Well, if you catch a bonita and you bleed it, and it's fresh, and you throw it on a barbecue, you think it's tuna.
My goodness.
But it has to be fresh and it has to be bled. It doesn't freeze, But if you have a fresh bonita, it's it'll taste like, blackfin tuna almost.
Wow. Wow. So. All right, I got to take a break. Dennis, thank you so much for calling in. I greatly appreciate it. And looking forward to having you back on soon, my friend. God bless.
Yeah, catch some fish.
God bless. And don't forget, we're doing exciting things with the Fish Florida show and also the network that's coming up.
Yeah, we're going to have a little discussion about that coming up here on the open discussion period.
All right. Tight lines. I hope you guys have a great afternoon.
Right, Thank you, my friend.
Thanks,
God bless.
All right.
God bless. Bye.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit
ignition. And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace.
I'm Trace Atkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Fish Florida Show. We are back, and if you had missed the earlier portion of the show, you can always catch us again. We do replay the show at 3 p.m., and for those of you who can't sleep, we play it again at 4 a.m., and if you happen to miss both of those, you can always find the archives. We have archives on our website, which is fishfloridashow.com. You can always go to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, Fish Florida Show, and we have the archives there as well. So we've always had the information available for you. We are grateful for those of you who take the time to share with us and allow us to share with you. And for me, it's always a learning experience. I've learned some more this morning, and I'm always grateful for that. So my next guest is Rick Sutherland. Rick is a fisherman on the freshwater side, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I think that's what he likes to do is get in back there into the backwaters and fish for the good old stuff back there. So he'll tell us a little bit more about that. Good morning, Rick, and welcome to the Fish Florida Show.
Hey, good morning, Riscala. How are you today?
Doing fine, my friend. How are you, sir?
Doing very well. The fishing in freshwater, which, like you said, is more inland, and the bass fishing is great. It is phenomenal right now. The bass are up shallow, so they're easy to target, easy to get to. You can take a kayak, a canoe, it doesn't matter. You can get in the shallow water now. And I tell you what, it is dynamite right now.
Are you using lures on the top of the water? Are you using lures that are down in the water or a couple of feet down? Or?
I'm using top water. I mean, and I'm using from a hollow body frog to a topwater popper. It's shallow. I'm fishing shallow waters. When I say shallow, I'm talking about less than 5 feet. And that, so you don't have to have a lure that dives down. They'll come up for it. And the hydrilla has really taken off. Being fall, we always get that about the rainy season. The water's came up because of all the rain, and so is the hydrilla. Well, that is, put a good coating on top. Well, anytime you get that, use a hollow body frog and have fun. It is a blast. There's nothing top water.
Oh my. Well, that's good news because we were talking earlier on the show about this algae thing that's going on and red tide and how the two of them are like steroids. And so it's good to hear that you have a lot of. It seems from what you're telling me, it seems like there's a lot of life going on.
Oh yes, I mean, whenever you get into the rainy season, the lakes and rivers come up and the current starts moving and starts really washing these lakes out. And anywhere you see stagnant water, you'll see that algae there. And so I love it when the rain comes up and it kind of cleanses it out, from the hot summer stagnation.
Mm-hmm. Anything else that's you were mentioning the bass? Is there any other fish that are hitting good?
Yeah, the crappie are starting to move in. As it gets more towards the end of September, the crappie will move in to shallow waters. But I've seen a lot of guys start catching crappie here lately, and the shell crackers too, especially. Whenever it starts getting a little bit cooler, which it hasn't yet, but whenever it starts to, they'll start moving in. But the crappie have started a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you out on the water right now?
Oh, absolutely.
I figured.
Yeah, you know what? I'm here at Lake Griffin in Central Florida at the Harris Chain of Lakes, and I'm up by the Ocklawaha River, which is the only lake in the Harris Chain that has a natural river going to it. And, you know, I'm actually sitting on the boat right now in current, and it's just drifting me. And you can see how the water has came up, and the current is really flushing these rivers and lakes out. And it is phenomenal. It's great. But like I said, staying next to this hydrilla, I've been out here since 7 Riscola, and I've probably, you know, boated 15.
Lord have mercy. Wow.
Oh yeah, it is phenomenal. It's fun. You know, I had the wife on here earlier with me at Morning Bite, and I tell you what, it's a blast, and that's what it's all about. And get out here in the outdoors with your family and enjoy it. You know.
Absolutely, I'm 100% behind you, my friend. That's one of my biggest passions is bringing the family together. And one of the best ways to do that is to do something everybody enjoys, and everybody, as far as I know, loves to go fishing.
Well, it's like they say, more tackle boxes, less X boxes. You know.
There you go. There you go.
Rick, what kind of boat are you using?
What kind of boat?
Yeah.
Oh, I use a Norse Craft. It's like you know, they don't make them anymore. I love it. It's a wider boat, and it helps if you don't have, you know, it's almost like a tri-hull bass boat.
Right.
You know, but it's a Norse Craft, and it's a smaller boat, it's a fiberglass boat, you know, bass boat. But they call it like the Chevelle of bass boats. But but I love it. It was, you know, my father-in-law handed it to me, and you know, I'll cherish it and keep up with it, and you know, that's how you do it.
Good.
Unbelievable.
I love to hear people that take care of these older boats, and
yeah, man.
You know, because some of them are just classics. You know.
Right. I mean, and I love it. I mean, that's exactly how it takes care of it. And that's what it's all about. Take care of your products. You know, when we were fishing earlier, we seen a little baby gator was going after my topwater, and my wife goes, "Well, you don't want to catch that, do you?" And I was like, "Well, no," and because it's just like, you know, the environment's just like your boats or anything else. You know, the better you take care of it, the longer it'll last. You know.
Amen.
And I was telling her how, you know, it's not good to catch baby gators and stuff like that. You know, some people think, oh yeah, okay, no, leave them alone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Leave them alone. If there's nothing good going to happen from that.
Well,
you know,
that's
so
right.
Take care of your stuff. Take care of your environment.
And then once you catch them, what are you going to do with them? That's the problem.
Yeah, right? I mean, you know, how are you going to get them off the hook and all that nonsense? No, I'll leave them alone. But whenever you fish topwater, though, they will come in. Generally, the big gators, they leave you alone. But those small gators, they're not afraid. They'll come right up to the boat, you know. But I can't stress enough, you know, leave the little baby gators alone. Try to avoid them as much as possible. Nothing good's going to come out of that.
How big are these guys?
Know? Oh, I mean, like the baby ones will be like 2 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're 3 feet long, and they'll come right up to the boat. 2 feet, 2.5 feet is about the biggest that they really are a nuisance. After they get a certain size, they really leave you alone. You know,
they're adolescents.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. They want to mess with everything. You know, anything that hits on, they're going after. You know, so.
Do they come after your fish when you're bringing the fish up?
Oh yeah, if you get it next to them, absolutely. Absolutely, they will not hesitate to get at your fish. They'll actually swim fast. You can't fight them for too long. You better get it in the boat, you know, if you got a baby gator around.
You know, I was down in the Keys. This is back many, many years ago, and I had a boat at the time, and we were fishing the shallow reefs for snapper and stuff like that. And a barracuda, a huge barracuda, probably 4 or 5 feet long. We were pulling up fish, and all of a sudden, while we were pulling up were heads. The rest of the body was gone. And so we realized what was going on. So we pulled our lines up, and we moved probably a mile, maybe even more than that. And I'll be doggone if that fish didn't follow us, because we started pulling up fish, and then before we knew it, it was just heads again.
Yep.
Now that's a nuisance.
I'm not kidding you. I'll tell you, it was irritating. So I could just imagine.
Yeah.
Do they follow you too? And if you leave the area, do they try to follow you?
Yeah, I mean, if you're trolling, they'll but they're kind of, I don't know, they get territorial. So you get past a certain point, they'll stop. You know? They have their own little territory that they patrol in, I guess you could say. So, you know, you can get away with them, but, you know, last weekend I was fishing and I found a good spot, and it was a good spot, and I was catching fish almost every cast, it seemed like. Well, there was a baby gator. So I was having to lure him out away and then position the boat between him and the bank where the fish were. And, I mean, it was something else, you know, but I never got hold of him. I was able to keep around him, but after a while I just got tired of messing with him. I was like, I've got to go out of the spot.
Wow. Yeah, he's fading in and out a little bit on me, Captain Hook. You hear him okay?
Yeah, he's fading in and out. He's probably moving around fishing, and he's probably moving his phone around. But you know, he's out there. I'm surprised we're getting him as good as he is over there in the middle of the chain of lakes over there.
Oh yeah,
wow.
I'm right here in the middle too. I mean, I'm in the middle. You know, because I'll pull out here, you know, and to speak. I won't fish while I'm speaking with you because you know. I don't want to fish the bite while I'm talking on the air, you know.
We might hear some words that we don't want to hear.
That's right.
Right.
Rick,
you know, but
Rick, are you a guide of some sort? Do you take people fishing as well?
I take people fishing, but I mean, I'm not a licensed guide. I'll take people fishing that just want to get out in the outdoors and to fish. You know, we do a live, you know, broadcast every Saturday or Sunday morning, and that's what we're getting ready to launch is the Sutherland Outdoors, you know, live fishing show, and it'll be unlike any other, Riscala. It's live. I mean, this isn't pre-recorded or set up, and you're put in a good position. I mean, earlier today when we went live, I went live, and a guy said, "Hey, I would use a frog right there." Okay, you know, I answered him, picked it up, said, "All right, we're going to use a frog." Mr. David Griffin said we should use a frog. We're going to use a frog. And, you know, and I cast it out there, and it's real interactive, and it's great. People really love it. You know, like I said, it's pre-recorded. I about lost my wife when I turned the trolling motor, so she about went off the side of the boat, and, you know, and it's all recorded. So, and, you know, you just don't get that with pre-recorded stuff, you know, but we're getting ready to launch that on Sutherland Outdoors, like I said, on the Fish Florida mobile app. And it's getting real close to being done. So, yeah. We're looking forward to it. And like I said, it's the only 100% live, you know, this is raw fishing at its finest, you know.
Yeah, I know a lot of the times they'll edit stuff out, so all of the fish that you miss or, you know, all the times you're locked up in a weed or something like that, all of that's edited out, so it looks like, oh, you just went out there and the first time you threw out, you got one, and the next time you threw out, you got a bigger one. So that's great.
Yeah, it usually takes days to do those fishing shows, and then they edit it all out and make it look like you had a great day out there, you know?
Right.
Yeah, he might have been out there 12 hours and caught them 4 fish.
You know? That's right. Yeah.
But earlier, you know, I got hung up in the tree, and when I got hung up in the tree, I said, yes, this happens too. You know what I mean? So it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know?
Yeah, well, you're not alone. I mean, it happens to all of us, you know?
Could we call that reality fishing?
That's right.
Yeah, that's real TV. That's real fishing, you know?
Rick, is that going to be on the Cloud Network TV?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Cloud Network, Roku, you know, Apple TV.
Yeah.
Like I said, it'll probably be available through the Fish Florida network.
Right. I know we're still working on all that, all the technical side of it, but it's getting very close.
Correct.
It's very close.
Yes, it's very close, and we're excited. We're anticipating it. And like I said, we've been just doing it live. You know, Sutherland Outdoors, you know, Facebook page. We've been going live and just doing little, you know, live segments every Saturday, Sunday morning, and you know, where you get a preview of it. But you know, it'll launch live, and it'll launch on that Fish Florida mobile app.
Wow. Well, Rick, I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. Always good to hear from you. We're up against a break. I've got to take this break. I wish you a wonderful day. God bless. Tight lines for you.
All right. Thank you, Riscala. God bless. Y'all have a good day.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
K-Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Facts form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at K-Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. K-Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Hey, this is Captain Hook for Statewide Pest Control Services. They've been serving the west coast of Florida since 1987. Statewide does it all. Pest control, termites, lawns, mosquitoes, tent fumigations, etc. This announcement is from their mold division. Since Hurricane Charlie in 2004, all their personnel are certified in mold and moisture control. Their two-step services are guaranteed to get you back in your home quicker and in most cases paid by your insurance company. Give them a call at 877-488-7378. That's Statewide Pest Control Services for all your pests and mold control needs, serving Florida from Pasco to Lee counties. Statewide Pest Control Services, 877-488-7378. 877-488-7378. That's 877-488-7378.
You're listening to WDBFradio.com, a tune-in station.
WDBFradio.com. 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 Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscola Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you. Every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m., on the WDBF Radio Network. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
Well, a very good morning to you. I apologize. I wasn't quite ready for that. I was taking a sip of coffee, still trying to wake up, and it's just the first hour has gone by. And if you've missed anything from the first hour, please know that we do replay the show at 3 p.m. And for those of you who can't get any sleep early in the morning or have to wake up early in the morning for whatever reason, at 4 a.m. we play the show again. If you happen to miss both of those, we do archive the show. You can always find the archives on the fishfloridashow.com website, or you can go to YouTube and find our archives there. We also have a Facebook page. If you would be so kind to go over to Facebook and find us on Facebook, Fish Florida Show. Give us a like, because that helps make us more relevant when people are looking for us. And we're always honored and privileged to have any of you who take the time to listen in and allow us to share with you I learn all the time. I love doing this. And this morning, normally I have Pam Worth with me. Pam is one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida, who always brings a unique perspective to the table. She's literally at the water's level fishing. She'll be calling in, if all goes well, she'll be calling in shortly here, and we'll have a report from her while she's literally out on the water. She's involved in a tournament. That's why she's not with me this morning physically here in either the east side studio or the west side studio. She's literally out on the water on her kayak doing her thing, so I'll be looking forward to hearing from her shortly. And again, Captain Hook, thank you for doing what you do. He's always there for me. Great. I am so appreciative of you, sir.
Oh, my pleasure. We're having a good time this morning. Good show. A lot of good guests.
My next guest is someone who has a very unique service, and I always, many years ago.
Riscala, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. For a second there, we lost you.
Oh, I apologize. I was saying that my next guest has a very unique product, a service actually, that she offers. And many years ago, am I breaking up?
No, you're okay right now. No.
Okay. Many years ago, I know that when I had a boat, there were times that I wanted to go fishing and I had nobody to go fishing with. And then there were times I no longer had a boat, and I said, darn, I wish I had a boat, or I wish I knew somebody who had a boat so I could go fishing with. And Stacy has helped fill that gap. Good morning, Stacy. Welcome to the Fish Florida Show.
Hi, good morning. How's it going?
We're doing good.
Good. Thanks for having me on this morning. I appreciate it.
Oh, I enjoy having you on. One of the times that I wanted you to be on the show with me, you were busy cleaning fish, I think, right?
I know.
Well, see, that's what I like about you. You're not afraid to get it and do it.
I missed the show that one time because I was cleaning fish from the night before. We had gotten in so late. But I can't wait for Pam's report. I want to hear how she's doing. Boy, she is one heck of an angler, and I'm sure she's crushing it this morning. I look forward to her call.
Yeah, she's coming up here shortly, and then there's a couple of other lady anglers. One of them is, I can only think, Angelia. One of the guests gave me their names, and the other one is Summer. And we're working on, what I'd like to do is have the three of them, maybe you join, and maybe even a couple of the other ladies, I can't think of their names right off the bat, have like a round table of ladies to have.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you have them express their point of view, because it is, unfortunately, It is a male-dominated industry, but the ladies play such a vital part of this that I've always felt it very important. And we've had several guests who have come on and expressed that the ladies are not the ones with and nothing against the pretty ladies, but not the pretty ones who just sit there and pretend to hold a fish.
Right.
The ones who get out there and literally bait the hook, throw the line out, catch the fish, take the fish off the hook, clean the fish.
Yep. And fry it up in the pan.
There you go.
Well, Stacy,
actually, I was just in, just to touch on that for a minute, I was just in Washington, D.C., visiting the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation and the American Sport Fishing Association up there. And one of the fastest growing area of anglers right now is single moms.
Wow.
Moms taking their kids out fishing. That is the fastest, most quickly growing area of anglers.
Wow.
So, if you're a mom out there and you want to take your kids fishing, you've got a lot of company. There's a lot of moms out there. You typically think of dad taking the kids out, but a lot of moms out there going fishing. Women are one of the fastest growing segments of anglers today. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Which brings me to Fish With Me, because Fish With Me is an online fishing club, and it helps you find fishing buddies. And you just go to fishwithme.net. That's www.fishwithme.net. You click to join. There's no cost to join. It's a free online platform. You just go on there. You create a quick little profile. Just answer a couple of questions. Kind of fishing you'd like to do. You can upload some photos. If you have a boat, you can upload pictures of your boat. Talk about the kind of fishing that you like to do, and you get registered in our whole registry of anglers all across the nation. But most of our anglers are in Florida right now. And so you log on, create your account, and then you can kind of browse local anglers. You can see who is fishing in your area. You can instant message people and say, hey, I saw your profile on Fish With Me. You want to go fishing? Feel free to approach people. That's why they're on there, is they're trying to find fishing buddies. So that's one way you can find a fishing buddy, is just instant messaging people. And then you can still use the app, or you can take your relationship offline if you want. Or if you just want to use the app as a tool, you can click on list an outing, and you can do something like, I'm going fishing Wednesday at 8 a.m. at such and such a place. I got room for 2 people on my boat. I want to meet to pitch in $60 each gas money, cover gas and bait and whatnot. And that will get published. An alert will get sent to people that are in your area that there's an outing that was just posted, and then hopefully somebody will join your outing. And that's basically what we do.
How cool is that? I'm telling you, when I first heard about this, Victoria Brinkley is who brought this to my attention. Yeah. Victoria being the one who founded the Fish Florida app. I said to her, in my life, of the simplest things that I run across seem to be the most successful, whether that is trying to resolve a challenge of some sort, some kind of a problem. If it is a simple answer, usually that is the best. The more complicated it gets, the more difficult it becomes to resolve the issue. This is so simple. This is so straightforward. This is like, oh my God.
Yeah. And, it's super simple and really straightforward. And, we're basically just using modern technology to help, to be like the local fishing club. In fact, we have local fishing clubs. If you're part of a local fishing club out there, get your fishing buddies that are part of that club to join Fish With Me. It's a great tool for club members to connect with each other instead of taking a list of all your club members and then calling them Saturday morning, going down through the list, calling one by one, trying to find 1 or 2 buddies. If you can get everybody in the club to use the Fish With Me tool, it's a super convenient way to kind of broadcast that you're going fishing to everybody in the club. And it's just a way to use modern technology to make scheduling just a little bit easier than the traditional way of, calling everybody on a list.
If I remember right, and you correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think also that people can leave feedback about other people.
Yeah, so basically, we don't run background checks or anything like that. We're not trying to complicate things. We're not trying to make, going fishing with somebody super complicated and costly. Running a background check is costly. Yep. What we're trying to do is basically say, we're just like your fishing club, and, or just like how you meet buddies, you meet your neighbors, you meet people at the bar, you meet people hanging out at the dock, whatever. That's the old school way of meeting people, and you get to know them because you spend time with them, you talk to them in a public place for a while. You get review, your buddies say, oh yeah, I know John. I've fished with him before. He's a cool guy. I mean, that's kind of the way it works offline, and we're trying to replicate that online with that kind of review system. So when people go fishing, they leave reviews for each other, and they say, I had a good time. It was just like he described. He said he said his boat was such and such, and he said we were going to go fishing for tarpon, and that's what we did. And, you just leave a review there. And then we also encourage people to, you can list and join. You can list out when you list an outing and someone requests to join, you're in control of whether you accept them on that outing or not. And then you can also, message them, get their phone number, exchange phone numbers, call each other, chat for a while before you go, maybe go to the local pub and have a beer before you head out or something. Fishing is fishing together on a boat is an intimate experience, and it's a lot of fun, and a lot of times you can create lifelong friendships by fishing with people.
Yep.
So don't skip all that, that normal interaction. Don't just let somebody just show up. Meet up with them. The problem we're trying to solve is just the idea that you might have 5 potential new fishing buddies in your neighborhood that you don't even know about. I've gone fishing with guys that live 2 canals over, and I had no idea that they needed fishing buddies, that they were looking for a fishing buddy, and now they're like good friends of mine.
Wow.
So, the ways is...
I'm sorry. It definitely opens up a new avenue of meeting people, and a somewhat secure way, because there's always feedback on the website, so you have somewhat of an idea of who you're dealing with. So before I run out of time, I wanted to ask you: have you got anything to tell me about anything new that's going on?
Oh, I got a couple of things. Yes, we have a promo going on right now. So anybody who logs in, creates an account, and lists an outing or an event, we also have, you can list an event on there. So if you have a tournament coming up or a fundraiser or something like that, you can list it on there. Anybody who lists an outing or an event, the first 3 people that do that each week, Sunday through Sunday, will get a free fishing buff and a beanie. I'll mail that out to you. And then you also get an entry into our Christmas cash drawing. We're giving away $500 cash on Christmas Day. We're going to draw. So those 3 people that list, the first 3 people that list an outing or event each week will go into that drawing. So you got a pretty good chance. There's not that many weeks before Christmas, and if you're listing an outing every week and you're one of the first 3 that does that, you'll get into that drawing. So get out there on Fish With Me and list your outings. And if you have time, I do have a top 4 fishing tips for folks for offshore fishing.
I've got a little over a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so my tip number 1 is make a plan. And what I always tell people is mix it up, try something new, and for sure don't get skunked. Make a plan to try a couple of different things in advance. So you're going to sit on a reef, maybe do a little bit of trolling, try a couple of different spots. The most discouraging thing is to set out to do one thing only, and then you get skunked, and that's not good. So you want to mix it up. So make a plan. Number 2, pre-rig. Get all your things, your rods pre-rigged, whether it's trolling rods, your spinning rods, your deep drop rods, whatever your plan is. Get everything pre-rigged. You don't want to be fiddling with rigging stuff out on the water. Number 3, and this is a big tip for folks, is go lighter. A lot of fish are under a lot of pressure now, and if you go lighter on your line and with a smaller hook, sometimes you'll get a lot more action than your typical leader length or leader weight and hook size. So try going lighter, and you'll be surprised the additional action you'll get. And then the last tip is fish with somebody new. And when you go fishing with somebody new, you always learn some new tips and techniques. So we really encourage you to get on Fish With Me and find somebody new to go fishing with.
Stacy, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. That is Stacy McCaskill. She's with fishwithme.net, and we are up against a break, so please don't go away, folks. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within. Over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit
ignition. And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace.
I'm Trace Atkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Fish Florida Show, and we are into the second half of the show. And if you've missed anything, you can always find us again at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And if you can't sleep early in the morning, you can find us again at 4 a.m. If you miss both of those, you can always find us on the archives. We are archived on our website, which is thefishfloridashow.com. We're also archived on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel, Fish Florida Show. You can go there and find our archives there. So normally I have the honor and the privilege of having with me, sometimes literally right next to me, the one and only Pam Worth, who is one of the top female kayak anglers in Florida. I enjoy her perspective because she brings a unique part of fishing to the table. And like I said earlier, she's out fishing, and if you can hear her in the background, you can hear some of the wind and going on back there. She's out in her little thing doing her fishing this morning, and I think that we might be able to get her on the line here.
Yeah, is the wind too much? I've got it on speaker because I've got a junior angler with me. I can take it off speaker if you think the wind is too much.
No, right now we're okay.
Okay, but yeah, we're fishing the IFA, and I have Morgan Rogers and his dad Joel with me, and we're out here trying to catch some fish.
And where is here?
Okay, it's the IFA, and the IFA is really funny about electronic letting people know where you are. All I can tell you is I'm on the west coast of Florida. Yeah, I'm sorry. They're real funny. We could get penalized.
No, I don't want you. The last thing we want to do is create an issue for anybody. We want to have fun. Yeah. We want people to enjoy what they're doing. So, how's the fishing going?
Well, kind of slow. I think we ran into an area that snuck up with a little bit of red tide. It's an area that you always see mullet jumping all over the place, and today the water's flat and nothing's moving. It's really it's almost creepy. Eerie. Yeah, Dulcet eerie.
Yeah, Pam,
I'm sorry, what?
I just got a report from the South Pinellas beaches that there was a big fish killed down there this morning, and they're cleaning it up. I saw the aerial photographs of it, and it doesn't look like it's real bad, but there are dead fish all over the southern Pinellas County beaches.
Oh my. That doesn't bode well for me.
Yep.
That's a strong hint. That's a really strong hint.
Wow.
But anyhow, we're here. It's a beautiful day. We're enjoying the water. And I have probably going to be in the future, if not maybe tomorrow, one of the future top anglers, Mr. Master. He's 11 years old, Master Morgan Rogers.
Oh, my.
Can I put him on a minute?
Yeah, let's hear from him.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Good.
You catching
any
fish?
Tell me a little bit about what you did this morning.
Well, we got up early. We got up early. We got to the beach. We unloaded everything. When I say we, I mean Pam and my dad.
God bless him. What time was early?
5:30.
Oh my! So you hit the water before the sun came up?
No, we have to wait till 7 o'clock before we can hit the water. The IFA is really strict about that.
I see. And are you showing Pam how to fish?
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, Pam, are you all in kayaks?
Yep.
You all?
We are all in kayaks.
Oh boy.
My goodness.
Yes, we are all in kayaks.
So, are you in one kayak and your dad is in one kayak?
And Pam is in the other.
Yeah.
So there's.
Sorry, he's getting coached by his dad. I'm going to go hit his dad in a minute and tell him to be quiet.
Pam, we were asking, is it 3 kayaks that are?
Yes. Yes. Yep. I'm in a kayak. I have a Native, and the guys both have Predators made by who's this made by? Old Town. They're made by Old Town Predators, and all of us have pedal types. So both kayaks are a pedal type kayak.
Wow.
It's really easy to get back and forth. Go ahead, say it again. It's really easy to get back and forth.
Great.
From the beach to our spot.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's done really well. We're probably gone at least a mile. And, Morgan's done right there. And yes, he is putting on an exhibition. That's all I can tell you. But you can read into the lines. I do believe Morgan will be on the stage today.
Get some video so we can put it up on the Facebook page.
Oh, if you go into my Instagram, if either one of you have Instagram, go into my Instagram, and I did an interview with them this morning right before we launched. It is adorable.
Hot dog. We're going to have to do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been kind of a tough morning. Like I said, the bite has not been strong at all. It's very eerie. I mean, you see a couple schools of mullet here and there, but you know how you're used to them jumping all over the place? And also I posted a photo on my Instagram before we started, because you can't, again, do any social media once it's 7 o'clock. But there are dead fish on the beach on our launch. So that was probably kind of gave the hint of what the rest of the day was going to be like.
Wow.
But we're going to troop it out, you know? Fishing is still, I'm having a good time. Morgan is doing everything on his own. He's baiting his hook. He's I can't say that he may or may not have landed a fish on his own, so I can't say that. You know, either way. I'm leaving the jury out, so you don't know if he did or not. Okay. But pretty excited for him. Pretty excited.
If I remember right, too, you use all artificial, right? You're not using anything live or anything like that?
That is correct. The IFA, the Inshore Fishing Association, is a redfish tour. The boats need to get 2 redfish, but the kayaks need to get a redfish and a trout, and it's 100% artificial. So the only good thing is there's no, charter captains around us that are chucking bait. Because if somebody throws bait out, we have to move by guidelines and rules.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
That's right. We have to be, I think it's 100 yards or something crazy, 100 feet or 100 yards away from anybody that's throwing bait or using bait.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, I want you to be safe. I know you're going to have a good time out there, and I know that along with that, you will be an excellent coach for this young man. He sounds really very entertaining.
He is. He's adorable. I'm going to go fishing with this kid a lot more. I'm going to take him up to Ozella. I think he would love Ozella.
Oh, my goodness.
Alrighty.
I hear him.
So anyhow, yeah, he's so cute. Morgan, do you have anything else you want to say? Anything about the day? Nope, not really.
The bite is terrible.
Say it again.
The bite is terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're struggling. Yeah, we're as they say, we're grinding it. We're grinding it out. We're going for everything we're worth.
Well, I certainly wish you the best.
End. Thanks. We'll fish to the end, and if we make stage or not, we're still, because we're sportsmen, we're going to be there to cheer on whoever won.
There you go. That's what it's about.
That's right.
God bless. Be well. Enjoy.
Stay safe.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm sorry, Captain Hook, did I cut you off?
No, not at all. I just said for her to stay safe out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's afternoon thunderstorms will pop up here. I can tell you she's somewhere out there in Tampa Bay area. Mm-hmm. I basically know where she's at, but I don't want to say because I don't want to get her in trouble.
Yeah, we don't want to create a problem for her. Right. I think it's great that she's taking a young one with her, and he sounds like he's really on par with what's going on. I think, who's it, Rick, that was on earlier saying about people should have tackle boxes instead of Xboxes kind of thing. Whoever it was that said that.
Yeah, Rick.
That really is it's something that really stands out today because electronics is all around us. And how many times do you see, or you go somewhere, you go to a restaurant or something, and everybody got their eyes down at this little thing in their palm in their hand. And it really doesn't go a long way to lend to build relationships. You go out and you enjoy something together. You share that experience, you and whoever it is, at the same time. It helps build relationships. And today's society is so against the family. We have so many things that want to break the family up, and we've got to do everything we can to keep our family. This is why I'm so passionate about fishing. This is something that my dad did, that we did as a family. And I really believe that it helped. My brother's my best friend. And there was only 4 of us, but when we did it as a family, and we all enjoyed it. I mean, even my mom. I know some ladies out there, they give me the ooh thing because I've taken a couple of them. And they see the fish come up, especially if we were out dolphin fishing one time. And you know what happens when you go dolphin fishing, and I'm not talking about the bottlenose porpoises. I'm talking about a fish called the dolphin or mahi-mahi.
Yeah.
When you catch them, they bleed, and they bleed everywhere. My goodness! So we went fishing one time. We got into a school of them. I had a couple of ladies on the boat. Inside of my boat was white. It wasn't white for very long, and they kind of freaked out because of all the blood. My mom never fazed her. It was what it was. She cleaned the fish, she cooked the fish, she caught the fish, she did it all. And she enjoyed it. And we enjoyed being with her. So that's something that's one of my passions. Get out there and enjoy it. We got water on 3 sides of the state. You can't help but see some water somewhere, right?
Yeah. And every time you see it, every time I see it, I say, I'm looking for it. I wonder if that's a good fishing spot. Let me try that over
there. I carry a little fishing rod, a telescoping fishing rod, and a small tackle box, a real small tackle box with me. And every once in a while, I'll see somewhere, and I'll go, I wonder, I'm not going to wonder. I pull the car over, and I go out and throw a couple of tosses out there to see what's going on, see what kind of action, if there is any. And even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes, it is so relaxing. For me, at least, it's something that just kind of takes your mind off of everything else that's going on, at least for a few minutes,
Yeah.
And then I get right back to work. I'm talking about when I'm out making calls. Sometimes I'll get a service call I'm in the Palm Beach area, but I'll get a service call to Vero Beach, which is quite a ways away from me. It's about a 2-hour drive in one direction. And I get all the way up there, I do the call, I'm on the way back, and I see a place, I stop, I pull over, I throw a line in, 5 or 10 minutes, get a little relaxation, see what's going on,
right.
Pull the line back in, and take off, and go on to the next call.
Yeah. I keep a full tackle box and bait well and fishing poles in the back of my truck, and it's anytime I see something that looks like it might be a good spot, I pull over and give it a shot.
I think that would enable us to consider ourselves hardcore.
Well, especially doing a fishing show each week, you got to get out there. You know what I mean? Because today I feel like I want to go fishing as soon as I get out of here.
Yeah. I've got that urge going on again. It's one of those things. If you've never been hooked, excuse the pun, by fishing, you won't know what we're talking about. Anyway, I guess we're up against a break here. We can take it a couple of seconds early.
Yep.
So we're going to take a break, and then we will be back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Facts form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back. It is the last portion of the show, and if you have missed any part of it, you can always go back and find us on the archives. And if you happen to want to listen to it today, you can also listen in at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And if you're one of those who can't get to sleep early in the morning, or you have to wake up early in the morning for whatever reason that might be, you can find us replayed again at 4 a.m. in the morning. So 3 p.m. and 4 a.m. Miss both of them, you can find us on the archives. We are on the website, which is the fishfloridashow.com, or YouTube. You can go to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel there, Fish Florida Show, on the YouTube channel. For me, this is always a learning experience. I'm always learning something. I'm a firm believer. I don't remember who said this, but a mind is like a parachute. If it's not open, it's not working. And my mind is always open to different ideas. And something so simple as what I learned this morning about dropping the chum bag down the anchor line and having it down there on the bottom, just don't know why. One of those things where you just want to kick yourself. Anyway, this morning I have with me my co-host is the one and only Captain Hook, who is standing in for Pam. Pam is out fishing, if you just tuned in. She's literally out on the water. She called in, and she gave us a little report about what's going on out there. And thank you, Captain Hook, for doing what you do, my friend.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Labor of love.
And, on a day like today where it seems to be relatively calm, as I'm looking at the report here, and you might be out there on a boat and you want to learn a new way of fishing or maybe even not only a new way, but better, I guess fine-tune would be the best word to put it, fine-tune a new way of fishing. I've always found this interesting, and my next guest has made it so straightforward for me, and uncomplicated, really, because I never realized that the advantages that you have when you do this kind of thing. So, good morning, Mike, and welcome to the Fish Florida Show, and tell us what I'm talking about.
Oh, good morning, Riscala. Good morning, Captain Hook. How you guys doing?
Good, Mike. How's everything going with you, and how's the fishing been?
It's doing great. Fishing's been really hot. I tell you what, plus with this storm that just passed us on the East Coast, we've got, I don't know what it is about these hurricanes and tropical depressions, but they push the fish around and get them eaten. So it's been great.
And, I was kind of alluding to something this morning. Mike, what I like about Mike and the reason why I like Mike to come on the show is he brings about a different perspective. Much like Pam, the reason I like Pam on the show, she brings about a unique perspective. Mike brings about a way that when you're out there fishing, that you can actually enhance your chances of catching what you really want to catch, whatever that might be, whether that's the Dolphin series or one of the wahoo or sailfish or something of that nature. And tell me a little bit more about what I'm talking about, Mike.
Okay. All right. So I think, Riscala, you are really talking about kite fishing and, utilization of a fishing kite in your spread or two to add some additional baits. And, a fishing kite can be deployed whether the boat is on the drift, whether you're, bumping into the current or into the wind at a slower speed. But what really happens is on your primary kite rod, you deploy a fishing kite, which gets the, kite angled away from the boat. It's got a series of clips, very similar to the clips that are used on outriggers. But as this kite pushes this, gets the fishing rods, the real fishing rods with bait on them through the clips, away from the boat, you add additional baits in the spread. So if you can imagine a boat that's on the drift or it's on the troll, those baits that aren't on the kite are going to be in one position of the boat. And as the boat's being pushed away, the baits go away. Well, the kite takes those additional live baits away from the boat in the opposite direction, so downwind. So, for example, when I used to fish in the SKA and the FLW Kingfish tournaments, we always trolled. So you could put, good Kingfish teams would put 6, 7, 8 baits on downriggers, out through the outrigger clips, and we'd have a series of 6, 8 baits. Well, with the kites, I could add another, just by putting one more kite in the spread, we would add another 3 baits. So now we're fishing 9. If I put 2 kites out, add another 3 to that. So we're fishing 12 baits. It just increases the odds of a bite.
And, again, when I first thought about kite fishing, in my mind, in my ignorance, I was naive. I thought one line, and how are you going to keep the kite going? And on a day like today, I don't know where you're at, but my reports over here were very light winds today, but there's still a way that you can fly a kite.
There is. And, seeing is believing. If you're on my boat, you'll find there's some secret hatches that you open up, and you'll find a high pressure hose, which is connected to some, helium tanks that I've got buried in fairly secure places, but out of the way. And so we will blow up, in most of my cases, a latex balloon, 30-inch or 36-inch. We'll blow it up with helium. We fasten it to the kite. There's a particular way to do that, but we fasten it to the kite, and what it will do is give lift where there is not enough wind to lift the kite. So, just imagine a kite with very little wind with a big 30-inch balloon strapped to it on the backside, and it just gets away from the boat like there was some more substantial wind.
That's why I like doing this show. Always learning. I never, in my wildest dreams, could I have ever imagined anything like that. We were talking earlier about, and I think you may have heard me mention about how one of the guests had mentioned they took the chum and dropped it down the anchor line. They were fishing on the reef and dropped it down the anchor line. That way they would have the chum right there at the bottom with them. And I thought to myself, how simple, my goodness, how simple. And how much does that increase the odds of you bringing up what you want? And I go to the kite. I think about the kite. And straightforward, nothing really complicated about it. Gives you an additional, is it just 3? Am I mistaken? Or some kites go up to 5?
When you say 5 baits?
5 lines, yeah. 5. You could put 5 lines.
I mean, that would take. I have never ever gone more than 3, and I don't know many people that do. But it's not. In theory, it's not impossible. But here's another. Let's just say the law of physics and hookup ratios. If you were going to put 5 baits on a kite, that kite would generally be so far away from the boat that lead bait, that longest bait, would be so far away, and the kite would be so high in the air. I really feel like your hookup percentages go down because the farther that thing is away, the more drop back you have. So predator can fly bait, it's in its mouth. So that's why I don't go too many baits. But 3, I think 3 plus 2 kites. Now what I have done is fished 3 kites. Now that's a whole different deal. So 3 kites, you send your starboard kite as far right as you can if you're looking backwards. Port kite is going starboard's going far left, port's going far right, and then you put one right down the center, and you can put more baits that way.
You mentioned something, and just to be clear about it, you can control not only how far out the kite goes, but the area that the kite continues to monitor, I guess. I don't know if it's the right word, but right? Because it's the only way you'd be able to do that.
So if we haven't tuned the kite or tweaked the kite to fly right or left, and I might add that every kite that comes out of the tube or the box really has a tendency to fly one way or the other. There's no perfect kite that goes dead center. This is all very general in a sense. So if I get one out of the box that wants to lean a little right, then I'd mark that with a Sharpie. It's a right flyer. And in the upper right corner, I will put a couple split shots to actually turn it more to the right. That weight will literally turn that, upper right corner down to the right, and that starts to torque more towards, that area of the fishing zone. Same thing with the left kite. We tune them and then we tweak them so that they will bank as far right and left as we can to get that spread.
Interesting. That's what I like about having guests like you and the other guests that had been on earlier. They're always learning, Mike, and I appreciate that. And much of the information that you share with us, I think you have a website too, right?
The website is kitefishing.com, pretty simple. And my Facebook page is Kite Fishing Experts, Mike Simcoe. And, with that, hopefully I can keep adding content and some additional instructional videos. I believe sharing is caring out here. You can't keep this all to yourself. There's no glory in that.
You have a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel that's just called Mike Simcoe. As we evolve and I figure out, all of us are figuring out the better way to use social media, that's where we're at.
SIMKO, correct?
Correct.
So Mike Simcoe, you can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Facebook, kitefishing.com. Got a website there. And one of the things that I so much appreciate about it, people like Mike, he's not real secretive about what he does. He's very open and willing to share with other people the knowledge and the experience that he has. And that kind of gives you a boost instead of, kind of cut back on the learning curve part, if you will. You listen to somebody like this or you watch some of his videos, you'll find some valuable information if you want to go out there and maybe you're one of the more serious people. I want to get out there. I want to use a kite. I want to know what it is that I have to do in order to be able to have a kite. You go to his website. It's full of, I've been there a couple of times, full of information, a lot, very interesting. I appreciate it, Mike. Anything else you want to share with us? I still got a couple of minutes.
Well, I just, I wanted to tell you that, like this will be more along the fishing report side. So, with the storm kind of pushing things around, where I am at, down in West Palm Beach area, South Florida, the dolphin bite has just gone crazy. And seems a little early in the year, but, for guys that fish seriously for dolphin, August, September is really a good month, a good couple of months to target them. So out there where we normally target swordfish, there's some really great gaffer dolphin coming through. So if you, and the weather, as you said, is very calm. So if you can get out there, it's fantastic. Also along the beaches, the mullet run is starting to kick into full effect. Tarpon, spinner sharks, big jacks, snook, bluefish, you name it, it's on the beach if you can get, you can't get a boat.
Well, you are the third guest this morning that has confirmed the mullet run.
Yep. It's a great time of year. Really fun time to fish.
And from what I'm told, with the mullet run comes a lot of tarpon, but a lot of other fish as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you done any fishing this last week?
Well, I did. Saturday we went out and it's kind of giving you the first-hand report from where my perspective's been. We went offshore, got the dolphin. I fished the beach. We fished with fly and with light spinners in the early morning. And when the wind, especially when that wind shifts a little bit out of the, a little more offshore wind, westerly, for us, it flicks things off. And if the tide's right, we'll throw a fly right into the trough where these snook are chasing mullet. We've caught some really great snook, and hooked a couple tarpon. Haven't got any this week, but I'm going to take the skiff out, weather permitting, this week and try to get some tarpon.
How far out were you when you went offshore?
Well, for us, figure in South Florida, it's 100 feet of depth for every mile. So I was generally in the 1,100 to 1,200 foot range to catch these dolphins. That seems to be a line that they like to follow at this time of year. So we get out there 1,100, 1,200 feet, which is very close to our swordfish ground. So that's 12 miles.
Is that the north, what is it, Gulf Stream? I need more coffee.
Yep.
Is it the Gulf Stream? So are you in the Gulf Stream?
We're dead in the middle of the Gulf Stream in South Florida at that point.
Wow.
So, kicking current is going to be in that 3 to 5 knot range. And those fish are just tracking. I feel like these fish, they'll track right in the current, and there we are. They're heading south, and we're looking for the birds.
Amazing. I've only had one experience in all the time that I've been out when I had my boat, many years ago. We found an experience like this. We found a tree that was upside down in the water, a huge tree. Didn't have any leaves, but it had all the little branches. And all around this tree was everything you could imagine. It was a huge barracuda, biggest barracuda I've ever seen in my life, a shark, a marlin that kept coming in and out because there were peanut dolphin at the top of which was upside down, at the top of the tree, and then there were bigger dolphin down below, and this marlin would come in and out to the top, and it was like something out of a dream. Never ever seen anything like that. It was one of the days, probably like today, where we're that far off, and it seems like you're in a puddle. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a great story. That is a dream too. That's a dream come true.
I caught the most dolphin I've ever caught, Mike. A 65 dolphin. This, of course, many years ago. 65 dolphin we caught that day.
Incredible. Great story.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much for what you do. I really do appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. And I appreciate people like you who are open about what they do and share the knowledge, because that's, for me, it's all about sharing. And I appreciate that. Wish you a wonderful day. Thanks.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show, and we will be back in a week, and we'll be back at 3 p.m. or 4 a.m. if you're around then. See you soon.